Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Safe Room. Look, it's finally here. We're finally here. 0 to 100 real quick. Who said it? You don't have to worry about who said it, all right? It's the 100th episode of the Safe Room podcast. Guys, really take that in. 100. I've been doing this for nearly 3 years. I didn't even think I was going to make it past 10. 10. Crazy. I'm so humbled. I'm so grateful for this moment. I just have to take it in because this is just a huge accomplishment, a huge feat. And for the 100th episode, guys, I had to go out big. I had to get this person. And it's someone who's making names in the community right now. Like, this person is an artist, a CEO, and one of the founders of RoundTable Records. His artistry is driven by his love for music, community, storytelling. Look, this person has been all over the place, performed more than 60 times for UOfT, R.I.S.E, Icon, Arts in the Park, GTA, Got Talent. Do I have to keep going? Listen, the resume speaks for itself. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you are about the bars, the storytelling, everything, the swag, listen, this is the episode today. We got Kingsz.
Roundtable in the building. Kingsz Hood Prophet, and I appreciate you for letting me come through for the 100 episodes. Honor, cause I keep it 100, so I feel like it's a great moment to be on a 100 episode. Just keeping it 100, my whole energy is just amazing. Right now we're here, and I know we tried to get this done, I think, a week or two ago, and
listen, it's been pushing back a bit. I won't lie.
It's crazy, just doing a lot. But I'm just happy that you continue to get to 100 episodes. Cause a lot of people start things and they don't finish. So the fact that you got there, it's a real milestone, and it's like motivation for the people, for yourself. And it's your legacy, right? So,
I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. Listen, guys, before we get into the episode again, I do have to just share like my personal story. Just being at this point, it's crazy. And if you guys don't know, we're back here at Bureau of Power and Lights. Shout out to Jeff for letting us be back here again. Jeff. I remember when I started this, like, I only started the podcasting thing because I was completely just bored out of my mind at the beginning of the pandemic. Like, I had nothing to do. I really didn't have a purpose with this podcast. I was like, you know what? I did some podcasts in my time at York University. Let me just kind of get into the flow and see where it takes me. And I literally told myself, this is probably gonna be like 3 weeks at best, like, something very short term. And now it's become something where it's my life. Like, every day I wake up, like, that's the first thing on my mind. Jeez. Just like, all right, let's get to the podcast. What I got to do? Like, what's the next move? What's the next steps to get to that next echelon? So, like, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'm so grateful for being here. And to thank you to everyone who has supported me through this journey, for real. Because, like, listen, I mean, I know I can be a very bubbly personality. And that was something that for a long time I didn't realize I had. And I was just so worried that if I expressed it, that I would get such a wrong reaction. But I think this podcast allowed me to just express myself, like, fully, authentically, without feeling away or like I'm not sure this is me. Like, this is me. And trust me, for anyone who knows me during like my school days, I was the most quiet guy in the room. Like, I would not say anything. And now it's like, you meet me in probably the span of 5 minutes, I'll probably get your email, your contact. We might just be kicking it and everything.
Yeah, I was like that too. Very quiet. Like, I had a friend call the same friend I called earlier when you were setting up, called him just so he can get me on the line because he didn't want to message me directly. And he's like, yo, like, you were right. Cause I used to tell him, like, he was like probably like the most popular guy in the school. And I used to tell him, like, yo, you should run on the entertainment stuff. Like, it's going to matter 5 years from now because now it's been like 7 years since high school. So he's like, yo, you were right. Like, I should have did this stuff. I've been meeting like all these superstars. I met Ja Morant's dad. I met Ja.
Wow.
I'm chilling with Drake, DeAndre Ayton from the Phoenix Suns, and Duville, big artists in the city of Toronto. And it's like, what do I have for me? Like, and I'm like, this is why I was trying to show you to chase your dream too, as well as support others, because you need to do both, right? So he's messaging me. He's like, yo, but like you, like you're popping right now. Like RoundTable, like you should sign me. Like da. I'm like, I'm not there yet. But he's like, yo, like you were so quiet in high school. You weren't giving main character energy. I was like, I've always been a main character. I just not all the time do you have to tell people. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to be comfortable in who you are. I was quiet because I was observing. I was like, oh, he's a person I was studying. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, Kingsz gets it, bro. He gets it. Like, for me, I was observing. I was looking at things. Like, when I was quiet, it wasn't because I didn't want to express myself. It was also because I just wanted to look and see and figure out what I was good at. And I didn't realize at a young age, like, I was really good at just, like, talking with people, having conversations. Because, like, I was that person, definitely in school, I was, like, doing everything, just straight up clubs, extracurricular. I was in everything. Like, literally, people, when they saw me go to high school, they're like, yo, Sean is like literally staying from 7 a.m. in the morning, because there was like breakfast club. I was there every morning just supporting, to like late 5 p.m. because I might have had like soccer, I might have had baseball, I might have had band, something else, you know. So just there's so much I was doing. But at the time, I was like, what's that one thing I'm doing? You know, just like your friend, like I'm doing all these big things, but like, what am I doing for myself? You know, and like that's when I realized like podcasting was for me, because I love to just talk, meet new people like yourself, especially the first time when we met each other. It was just, I felt the connection and everything. So like,
yeah, I was happy to see you at R.I.S. Shout out R.I.S.
Yo, R.I.S. Y'all doing your thing, man. Y'all are doing your thing, bro.
Shout out Al, Anastasia, Randall, Vanessa, Alliston, Mo. Maya was one of the first people I met when I started going over there to R.I.S. and stuff, and just seeing you over there, and I was like, this is where you need to be. This is where I tell all the artists, I'm like, yo, there's a paradise. You guys don't know. There's a place where people are supporting artists and teaching people how to express themselves, and they're giving people their flowers now. They're not waiting 20 years from now for you to get famous. They're helping you get to the next step, and it's like, that's what I was doing when I was observing. Cause I was in all the extracurriculars too. I was on the dance team with a whole bunch of girls, and all the mans would be like, "Yo, you're wasted. You're dancing." I'm like, "Yo, I'm not the one dancing. I'm just on the team." Like, you know, like I'm just on the team. Like I'll do a 1-2 spin move if I'm spinning a shorty on stage. Like, you know what I mean? And now when I perform and stuff, and I see women dancing, they come to me because I have this aura, and I be dancing with women while I'm performing live. People be like, "What?"
Guys, if you want a case study, listen. Him, Sophia, Kimberly. Yeah. If you haven't seen the piece, you're missing out. I saw it, man. Like,
yeah, outside Phoenix, we have a piece called Hope. She reached out to me because we met at Content Creation Day, and we didn't connect again for like a year. And she reached out to me to collaborate after I seen her at Nobellum, a Novathon last year. Shout out Nobellum. And UTSC, like, so my RoundTable, you know, like our partners, so you know, I have to shout them out properly. But connected with her over there, seeing what she was doing. And I have a family, like everyone in my family can dance, you know. So I'm probably the worst dancer out of my family, but I'm like the most like popular, like, you know. So
I mean, I don't see that personally. When I see you, I mean, I feel like you got the moves. Now, me personally, I'm not the dancing type. That's my sister. I feel like you and my sister could probably link together. You know,
it take me some time to learn the steps. Like if I see like a new dance move, I'm just like, yo, how do you do that? Like, you know. And sometimes you just have to slow down your mind. I wear glasses, so sometimes I just don't see properly. So, but with South Phoenix though, she really like train me and get, like, you know, help me get to a different, like, get back onto there. Cause I stopped dancing, but I really, really wanted to connect with dance. Cause my older brother, Jamal, R.I.P. Jamal, he passed away, but he loved dancing. He wanted to go in that profession. I feel like I would have been like his manager, and he would have been the superstar. But after he went, I'm like, I have to carry the baton. So I started dancing. I joined a dance team. I'm on the sports teams. I'm on all these teams, learning my role, learning how to move, stuff like that. Certain man's like, oh, you're way here dancing, da-da-da. But now, years later, it's like all that hard work is paying off. Because now when I perform at a level where it's like people don't even notice I can't dance at a certain level. They're like, yo, you're amazing. I'm like, okay. So I practice. Really, you know, it's like sometimes people feel like you just go on stage and just do some stuff. It's like, nah, I've been doing this for years. Like, I've been grinding with Priority, Scooby, Dre, my manager, shout out Dre, and Sharika, Riri, boss lady, for years, and shout out Gels. Like, I've been grinding with these guys for years, like, you know what I mean? Me and Priority on the dance team together. just understanding each other. That's why sometimes when we perform, people be like, oh, you guys practice. Like, yo, I haven't seen this guy in like 3 weeks. It's just our chemistry is there. So sometimes like, we just know we'll both move like this at the same time.
Right.
And we're like, oh my gosh, you guys rehearsed that. I said, nah, like, I just showed up and just did it. Like,
yeah,
you know, like,
I feel you.
There's
you,
a
man.
vibe, right? So I really like to put myself in different situations. Like how I even got to the label stuff is because I was doing radio. Like I was part of the SHISM, so the special high skill major program in high school, and it was teaching us about film, teaching us about production and lighting and stuff like that, right? So I started to like really just take it in because like, yo, if I'm gonna go into music, I think I should know all of this because I can set it up myself,
right?
Like, you know, or I can collaborate with people and provide like a value. So got into radio and stuff like that, and that's when I realized like hearing like everyone say, "Oh, I want to be a producer, announcer, I want to do sales." I was like, you know, I might want to own the radio station. I was like, but radio was actually like dying slightly. Like people are trending more into podcasting and
that
social
has been
media.
the trend, yeah. Like,
you know
since 2020, like when I came in the game, like I noticed there was such a like surplus of podcasters coming in, and like again, I felt like for a lot of people it might have been because of the pandemic, because simply people are just so isolated and they wanted to communicate in some form.
Yeah.
So like people are like, what's the best thing? Like podcasting. So like for me, when I even look at like mentors, I look to people who were doing it before the pandemic, you know? So like there's different people I talk to, like Alex and Owen, shout out to them. They have the Hustle Over Everything podcast. Jeez. They've been doing their thing since like 2017, 2018. And it's just now they're starting to really get that love and appreciation, because it goes to show that the things that they do, it wasn't because based on a trend, like, oh, it's 2020, we're bored, let's start a podcast. They were actually putting in the work. And the stuff that they do is really great. Like having podcast episodes surrounding entrepreneurship and business and bringing on people who have actually done it as well. Like that's a really great concept what they do. So I definitely feel with you, like the same correlation.
And I'm definitely gonna connect with that podcast and really like watch and just study. I love entrepreneurship because it's like I didn't just want to be an artist. I wanted to be more. I wanted to provide more value to the game. I had to give back the game because music done a lot for me, like in terms of like anxiety and depression and mental health. And like my older bro passing away, I had a cousin pass away to some gang violence, and my aunt passed away to cancer. I'm not my aunt, my grandmother passed away to cancer. It's like, you know, a lot going on in my mind, and it's like music gave me that outlet to be greater than my situation or my circumstance. It's like, how can I get back to the game? So I had to really study entrepreneurship, and even with like that class, like I was like, how can I do something different? Like, you know, in radio, I was like, you know, I'm gonna start a record label. I'm gonna do it with my people that I do music with. I'm gonna still do the artistry and put myself out there to be like, you know, critiqued and examined and listen. I listen to people. People will be like, yo, bro, like you're moving too arrogant today. It's all right, I'm gonna calm down. Like, you know, some people be like, yo, you're too humble. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pick it up. Like, you know, because it's a seasonal thing. Like, you know, there's a time and place when to show your confidence, and there's a time and place when to be quiet. And that's something that we learned in high school. And it's like, oh, you're so quiet. It's like, yo, I wasn't quiet to my friends. My friends are like, yo, you're the most extroverted person ever.
Oh,
but
yeah.
to the outside, people are like, yo, this guy is quiet. People would be like, yo, because I post on social media and I make sure my content's booming. People would be like, yo, like, you're always posting, always doing stuff. It's like, yo, I'm quiet. Like,
I'm a homebody.
You know, like, I don't go outside unless it matters. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
I don't go outside unless it matters, just because I like being in my own space. And then people have their own lives and their own way of things. So it's like you don't want to be in people's space too much, because sometimes like, creative differences, or they want to stay away from the drama.
Exactly. Like we even had a conversation on the last episode with Josh. Shout out to her. She had the same sentiment in terms of like, I don't be going out unless it actually means something. The same for me. Like when people see me post like consistently and everything, or in terms of just the work I do, they're thinking like, oh my God, like this guy's doing everything. I would rather stay at home and just kind of like do what I need to do and just not get into any of the huge like talks and everything like that. I'm just like, I do my work and then I just chill. I don't really like to be as active like that. It's like, and when people hear about me too, in terms of like the work I do, they're like, where the hell have you been? Like, we didn't hear about you 2-3 years ago. All of a sudden you're popping out of nowhere doing all these different things. It's like, well, at the time I was in school, and like that mattered to me. Like, get my grades up, you know, do what I need to do, and then eventually when I graduated, that's when I started to put more focus. Like, let me actually go out to these events. Because, like, it wasn't until last year I was like, let me actually go network and connect with people, you know?
And I push networking. I'm outside. When I'm outside, I'm making sure I connect with people. Sometimes I enter a place, 30 people, I'm like, all right, I have to talk to at least 5 people before I leave. Because sometimes it is feeling antisocial. It's like, all right, at least 5 people, because I have to make a difference. And even if it's not like a big conversation, I let them see, like, you know, follow me on Instagram. Sometimes they're like, why? Like, you know, and then months later when I run into them somewhere, they're like, yo, Kingsz. Like, they know my whole name. I'm like,
you slipped up. Like, you should have been following me.
I'm trying to remember, like, their name. Like, you know, I'm not Hollywood or nothing. Like, I always talk to people, especially because I understand, like, just losing people in my life. I'm like, yo, you never know when someone's gonna go. I actually just lost a friend recently. I try to connect everyone. Like, yo, Kingsz, yo, like, I've been seeing what you did. You're doing, like, you're making a movement. And it's like, in my mind, I was like, yo, I remember when I came to you and I was like, yo, follow me on Instagram. You were like, well, let's get now. Like, months later, it switched because, like, you see what I'm on. And they're like, yo, I want to get on that. And I was like, yo, that's why I even connected with you, because I wanted to inspire you in some sort of way and then support you in a different way too.
Listen,
right?
it's the classic saying, they don't want what you want until you make it there, until you make it to the top of the mountain.
I mean? And then, like, I don't like just growing up. I went to a high school where I was popular, but I was popular the other guy. Like, you know, like, I chilled with all the members, like, you know what I mean? Like, just growing up in, like, in my own ends, and, like, you know what I mean? I moved a lot too, so I've been to different hoods and stuff like that. And I was a child youth worker for the last, like, 10, 12 years. So I've been in different communities, meeting people with different situations, just being a role model, learning from people, being mentored. And I learned, like, yo, I don't have to fit in, like, you know?
Right.
I just have to be myself, and the puzzle will fit around me. And I encourage, like, a lot of people to be like that, you know? Because a lot of people are like, yo, you see, you're a waste man, you do that. And now years later, it's like, they still call me a waste man, but it's like, nah, I'm a waste man, I get paid. It's like, you know what I mean? Like,
right
it's
there.
like, I can be whoever you say I am is who I am. You know what I mean? I don't really have that energy to argue it. Like, you know what I mean? Because there's other people telling me I'm a GOAT. There's other people telling me I'm, like, inspirational. You're telling me you're hating. It's like, listen, I embrace it all. Like, you know what I mean? I grew up watching, like, wrestling.
WWE.
I still watch WWE. I stopped watching it, but I restarted watching it because I study, like, the characters, because I'm like, yo.
Yes. I'm a huge character guy. I feel like you need to have the right character. There's the storytelling and everything like that. Like, what's it? You know the Roman Reigns bloodline thing?
Yeah,
that's
tribal
one
chief.
of the greatest things I've seen ever.
I feel like I'm very similar to him because I'm a good guy. Like, I'm actually, like, in the hood and stuff like that. I'm the hood prophet, so I'm the good guy. I'm the one, like, you know, I grew up, even though I was doing craziness, I've done some craziness in my life, but I always had a relationship with God that would like, yo, stop doing your foolishness, focus on the purpose, and say, here I listen to my spirit over my flesh. You know what I mean? And I have a lot of friends that are not like that, so I'm the moral compass slightly. So that's why people be like, "Oh, you're a waste." Like, nah. I just won't serve you. You know, I'm gonna serve God. I'm just not serving you. I don't fear you. You're not nobody. Like, you're not my master. You know what I mean? I love you. I can support you. You know what I mean? And sometimes, yo, you see people make a bad decision. It's like, yo, I have to let you make that decision and still support you to that decision and be there for you to help you when you're ready to make that change. And then with the tribal chief thing, like, you know how people are pushing him to be a guy? Like, I feel like at some point they were pushing me, like, yo, you should be this. And it's like people are not really connecting with it. But I embrace the hero role too, because, like, sometimes I be performing, and, like, even when, like, we create the sound web series that I'm working on, I'm watching it, like, yo, there is times, like, I be performing and the crowd is, like, that's what I call the away game. Like, the crowd's not for you. They don't know you. They came to support people, and people are looking upset. And I start paging the crowd, but not in a way where it's like I'm trying to this, in a way where it's like I turn on the entertainment. Like,
it's like, I'm trying to get your attention.
You're not trying to pay attention. I start doing some stuff, like, you know, I'll play, like, a song for, like, the women. Now the women are dancing. I dance with the women. I have a girlfriend now, so you know what I mean. Or, you know, I'm trying to work things out with her. But we start dancing with the women. We play for the women. All the man them that are hating, like, whoa, they have the women on their side. I'm like, we have the girls. We have the girls.
Dude, I feel that, and it becomes to the point where, like, yo, you're playing that bad role, and now it's like people love you for that.
Love it.
Because like the weirdest thing, since we're sticking on that analogy with the tribal chief and just wrestling, more people today gravitate on a really great heel. They would rather sit there and like, oh, I know he's a heel, but I love him, rather than a baby face where it's like, yo, every baby face is one dimensional, bro. It's the same thing. Like, I'm the good guy. I'm here for you.
I don't care about that.
It's just like,
I look people like I'm so real. Like I have friends that I'm quiet, but I'm quiet because my family I grew up in, very hardcore. Like, you know what I mean? Like my mom's on my case. Like my mom won't hesitate to call me and tell me I'm a waste man. I'm a this. Start cussing me in patois. Like, you know, my brothers will look me dead in my face. Like, yo, fam, you're a waste you. And they feel like they need something like, nigga, you're broke. Like they'll get at me. Like, you know, my cousins are like that. Like, you know, oh, you think you're a superstar? Yo, I'll cut you down to size. I'm like, yo, fam, what you talking to? I'll box you up. Like, we're different. So it's like, now I'm like, you know what? I'm not trying to hide that person. I'm like, yo, because even in the web series, like, there's a point in time where, like, because I had a show last year for my birthday. I didn't want to do that this year. Like, on that level, like 250, 300 people. We did Canada versus America, brought some Americans, liquor language. And there was a time when people in the crowd were just saying some mean shit. Like, you know, like, boo, I'm like, yeah, who you talking to? Like, and I'm paging someone in the crowd. And it got to a point where I'm paging the man, the crowd started cheering me. Like, they're like, yo, Kingsz. Like, yeah, no, I'm like, yo, I'm from the Rex, fam. I'm not playing, like, what, like, we're not playing that. Like, you know, me and my friends, like my friends, like, the way we talk to each other, like, we're so real. Like, you know, like, me and Scooby have fought bare times. Me and Party have fought bare times. Like, I feel like I have to, like, box you to get you, like, to take in, like, yo, I'm not playing. We would do that for each other and not take it too far. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I have time where Party would cheese at me and the man started crushing me. I'm like, holy. Like, you know what? I'm taking it, he's being serious. And I'm like, yo, we need to, like, people need to see this. Like, you know, not like in a way we're trying to be like some sort of gangster. I never wanted to be a gangster. You know what I mean? Even though 50 Cent was my favorite artist at one point in my life, I never wanted to be a gangster. I always want to be me. I always want to be best version of me. And I'm like, yo, I won't hesitate to look our artists in their face and be like, that song's trash. But I know how to make it better, though. And if you want to get better, this is what we have to do. Like, you know, you want to get to that next level, this is what I have to do. And then sometimes they'll look at me and be like, yo, you're not famous. Who do you think you are? I'm like, all right. And then I'm performing at R.I.S E. I'm performing at UKC. I'm like, I know what I'm doing. Like, do you know what you're doing? Like, do you know what you're doing? Like, why you're doing it? Like, what drives you? I know what drives me. I know I want to retire my mom. I know all my friends' parents, like, you know, like, I work with Priority and like, you know what I mean? Like, I know their parents. I'm like, yo, we're trying to do this so we can retire you too. Like, you know what I mean? I have nieces that I wake up and I'm like, yo, I wish I could be around you more so I can teach you how to read. And I'm like, yo, I see people and I'm like, yo, I want to be able to, like, preach the gospel in a certain way. Sometimes I do that in my music. Like, you know, sometimes I have to hit the streets with what they need. Like, you know, I'll talk about, well, I'm actually going through, like, I'll talk about, like, some hood shit. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't even swear that much, but even, like, me saying, like, hood shit, like, I'll talk about some hood shit because it's real. Like, you know what I mean? And I'll bring it back to, like, yo, at the end of the day, where's your spirit, though? Yeah. Where's your spirit, though? Like, I feel like I'm that person, like, I'm a Christian, but I'm not going to be the good guy. Like, you know, I'm a baddie. I'm like, yo, get yourself back in line with God. Yo, go pray. Yo, why you complaining? So, like, go pray, handle your business with God, and keep it moving. Like, you know what I mean? And I'll be the bad guy if I have to. And I realized Jesus was like that. Like, Jesus was hated. Like, you know, he has a lot of enemies. Like, you know, they crucified him because he was a hero. Like, he was a good guy, but, like, at the end of the day, it's like a tribal chief situation where it's like people love him and there's people that hate him. Yeah. And you know what I mean? It's like, yo, if that's how your life is going to be, or my life's going to be because I have a message I have to push, let it be. Like, you know, I'll die preaching. You know what I mean? I don't mind. Like, you know what I mean? At some point you have to go. Like, you know, I hope I can live till 80. That's my goal in life. I've always wanted to live till 80. 80. Like, you know, after 80, the Lord can do whatever he wants. Even if he takes me before, as long as I got the opportunity to preach the message like this podcast, like, you know, be able to talk about what we're doing. But I be really studying WWE, like, so that my promo could be clean when I'm on stage. Like, I'm like, yo, I know when to uplift the crowd and when to tell the crowd, like, yo, you guys are not lit.
It's like the difference between a work and a shoot. It's just like, when am I working the crowd? When am I like, all right, I'm about to blast them? You know?
I think we performed on New Year's and we're doing, like, some soft stuff. Like, you know, like, we started off slow, but on purpose, because we were like, yo, we give them like some like heartfelt and again to the lit stuff, and you could tell they didn't want the heartfelt. This wanted to be drunk out there, man. I'm like, yo, I told you, yo, stop the music, yo, you guys not trying to get lit? I'm like, yo, turn it up, yo. Me and Parody started getting the place lit. Scooby started tweaking. The place just changed. The energy changed, because like, yo, I'm like, yo, I'll look the crowd dead in the eye. Oh, you're not feeling this track? Switch the track. Like,
next one.
Move on. Let's get it lit. Like, we have the lit. We just thought you guys wanted some soul too. Like, since you guys don't want the soul, we'll give you the lit. And now that you're paying attention, we'll bring it back to the soul, like, you know, because you have to go home blessed. You know what I mean? And then they have to go home blessed. They don't go home, you know. So
wow, guys. Okay, first things first. I just want to say again, episode 100, very 100. Special moment. The crazy thing about this is that I feel like the way we started was absolutely like amazing, and it's probably the first time, because like usually like we get into like our main segments, we haven't even got into that. We just kind of we were just bouncing off the energy we just had right now. So like it's now we're getting into the main segment. We're 25 minutes in, guys. This has never happened, but I'm really glad it kind of took this turn, because it's like, you know what? For an episode like this, for a special episode like this, it didn't need to go the same route. It just needed to take a different route, and we're getting back to it. So, like,
let's get it.
Yeah, let's get to the main segment, which is, again, the hot seat. I'm just going to ask you 4 questions and just answer them to your best ability, bro.
I'm ready.
Okay. Now, you kind of did explain it, but we'll keep it short. So, like, outside of you, Kingsz, the artist, the hood prophet, like, tell me something about yourself in one sentence.
I'm a Christian, but... I love sports. Like, I don't watch TV like that. I watch sports. Like, I watch basketball. I feel like I want to go into like sport. I'd be a sports commentator, but I do that. Like, that'd be my second career after this. Like, I'll go into commentary. And I don't. It doesn't just have to be basketball. I love football. I love soccer. I love hockey. I watch a lot of sports. Like, I can argue with sports for days. Like, I can tell when someone's speaking, and I'm like, yo, you don't watch ball. Like,
so, okay, to say that, the hockey, did you watch the Leafs game on Tuesday? Cause
against Tampa Bay?
That was horrendous.
Did we lose
It was 7-3. We lost.
I think I knew it was 3-0, and I was like, I'm not watching the game.
They were legit booing the Leafs after the first period when they were down 3-0. The fans were not having it.
Not having it. I'm me, like I said, I have that... If I'm playing in the game, like, I have to score. Like, you know, like, I'm like, yo, I'm a foul, I'm going to injure somebody. Like, that Draymond Green type stuff.
Oh, man.
Like, when he just did the Sabonis, you need that sometimes, you know? Because you're losing it down to, it's like, what are you going to do? It's like, hit him with a Seth Rollins.
Just hit him with the massive.
With a stomp. And now, if they don't win game 3, it's like, you know, but, yo, the Leafs were never nice, though. I love the Leafs, because, you know, Toronto.
That team is cursed,
but yo,
man. That team is cursed.
Always bet against the Leafs. I always get my money. I'm like, yo, Boston Bruins, I'm getting my money. I have Chara.
Montreal, that one hurt. That one hurt the
I'm
most.
like the Detroit Red Wings back when we had Steve Yzerman and Brendan Shire.
Yes, Hendrik Zetterberg.
Who did we have in the Maple Leafs? Matt Sundin? That was my guy, though. Shout out Sundin.
Sundin was nice. But no, that Leafs team, man, it's just crumbled. Even during the years of Phil Kessel, everyone thought he was the savior. I'm like, listen.
Nah, I knew.
We knew. We knew he was not that guy. And, like, you look at the core today, Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares, O'Reilly. You have all these guys. You can't do nothing.
It's the coaching, bro. At some point, it's not the players, you know. The coaching needs to.
Sheldon Keefe needs to go.
He needs to go. Same thing. How Nick Nurse is about to be out of here for the Raptors. Because his voice just wasn't prominent. His lineup sometimes, like, understanding your personnel matters.
Right.
Sometimes it's not that easy. Obviously, like, when you have superstars, it's easy. But you could tell when a coach is a real coach when you could take nothing and make it something. Right. Now, Nick Nurse did his job by helping us deliver a championship, but I'm not going to give him that much rating.
Right.
It was really Kawhi. It was really Marc Gasol. It was really Danny Green. It was really Serge Ibaka.
You need to tell the people that, because I try to tell everyone that. They don't
really
believe
the vets, like, you know what I mean? And once those guys left, because those guys left, like, literally the next season.
Yeah.
We haven't been anywhere.
I try to tell people.
Because it was not Nick Nurse.
Yeah, I try to tell people even about Siakam. Like, Siakam was not ready. The reason why he was good, because he had Kawhi. It was easy for him to be the second option. Look at him now.
Man, Bleed not ready.
They're not. Yeah, look, I want to go on to the next question because I know we might get into a whole other conversation.
Ready,
all right. So the next question I got, the first rapper that got you into, like, music, into hip hop and rap, like, you ever listened to?
I have to give it a 50 Cent. I was listening to music, but it wasn't until 50 Cent that I was like, yo, do I want to be a rapper? Like, you know, like, do I? And he just moved, and then he had to Get Rich or Die Trying, and that's when I took in, like, Eminem was doing his thing with the 8 Mile, and I started taking, like, music movies. And now when I rewatch those movies, I'm like, yo, I lived that life, actually, like, somehow, like, in my own way. It's like, 50 Cent's my guy. But as I got older, you know, Nipsey Hussle really got me into the entrepreneurship mind, you know what I mean? But 50 Cent, like, he was living, he was balling. And I have to give credit to Lil Wayne, too, because Lil Wayne was, like, the best rapper alive. Like,
yeah.
And I honestly was, like, watching Lil Wayne, I'm like, all right, if I'm going to rap, I'm going to be creative. I want to be like that.
Right.
But if I want to, like, I'm more like 50, where it's like, I'll know when it's time to exit the game and start my next career. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be an artist for 30, 40 years. Like, you know, I'm going to know when it's time for me to make my exit.
Make that nice transition, you know, while you're doing your thing in music, you're still finding other pathways to, like, okay, when it's time to leave, I already have something set up already. I feel you, man. Okay, next one. An interesting fact that you rarely share about yourself.
Poetry is my, like, I love poetry. I write poetry every day. But I would have went that route. I was supposed to originally go poetry. And then when I learned how to rap and freestyle, people started, like, that I would freestyle, rap around. They're like, yo, you're nice. I'm like, yeah. But then when I saw my poetry, they're like, yo, like how you seen the one with Sad Phoenix. Like, people were crying that day. Like, people were bringing me to the side, telling me, like, yo, you should probably go the poetry route. Like, you know, I'm like, yeah, I know I'm nice. Like, but I do poetry for me. Like, I need something for me.
Right.
That I don't want people to try to critique. And, you know what I mean? I'm already getting critiqued about everything I do. So it's like, poetry is, like, it's for me. But I want to, I'm getting older now. I'm like 26. So at some point in my 30s.
I'm sorry. You said 26. He said I'm getting older, guys.
Yeah, Kingsz is a rapper. Hood Prophet's supposed to be a poet.
Yeah.
But, you know, right now I'm living before Hood Prophet. I'm doing the Kingsz. You know, Hood Prophet Kingsz is a whole different person. But I'm ready to be Hood Prophet and the job stuff as Hood Prophet. I'm going to do poetry, more like gospel probably only, and stuff like that. But I want people to see my growth.
Right.
Do the storyline properly.
That's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. Okay, final question to wrap up this segment. What is your personal safe room?
Personal safe room. The studio. Studio is amazing. I love the studio. I have, like, my own home studio. I listen to instrumentals like crazy. Like, I just sit there and listen to beats. I stopped listening to music as much because the lyrics, the substance isn't really there. So I listen to beats because it gives me that emotion. When I want to listen, when I want to be depressed, I listen to some depressed. When I want to feel like more lovey, I listen to some lovey. Or I listen to some hard, play some Pop Smoke drill type beat, like, you know what I mean. And studio is my safe room for sure.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's great to hear. All right. So I do got a couple of questions to just kind of get into the main parts of this episode. So again, like we talked a lot in the beginning. I know you mentioned RoundTable, so shout out to RoundTable.
RoundTable on the hat right now.
That's wearing the branding and everything,
merchandise
bro.
Coming soon.
Yeah, bro. So, like, I just want to know, like, again, what is it about the individual behind Kingsz? I know we did kind of go into detail about it, but maybe just for people who may not know about you personally, they may hear about Kingsz and like, oh, he's part of like RoundTable RTG. He's doing this thing right now in the community with the music and the poetry, but like we don't know about Kingsz like that in the sense where, you know, like outside of him, like, yo, like what does he do? Just on a normal, or like what? How do you really express yourself? And like, what gave motivation to become the person you are today as Kingsz? Like that full like embodiment.
Just helping people, like serving people, cause like my name means king, right? So I'm like, at some point, I was always denying the fact that I was influential. I was like, me? I always made the sports teams, but I'll be on the bench. Like, there's players that are, the coaches never seen potential. I'm amazing. Like, basketball, low-key, I can throw any dime. Like, I can make any person look nice. Like, you know, like, I'll have 15 assists, 15 rebounds, I'll have 6 steals, I'll block like 4 shots, but people don't take that in because I'm not scoring as much.
Right.
I'm not dribbling. I'll drop like 10 points and I only shot like 5 times. And it's like I went 5 for 5. Like, you know what I mean? Cause I like efficiency.
Right.
I don't like overdoing it. Or sometimes I'll go 5 for 10. Like, you know what I mean? It was like pivotal. But I always like, people like, I was doubted because like, you know, people have like a certain imagery of like what they think is supposed to be like a guy. I'm like, the Lord uses anybody to get his message across. And at some point I was like, yo, I'm very influential. I'm very wise. I'm very humble. Why shouldn't I be a king? Why can't I uplift other people to want to be kings and queens again? I feel like people lost that fact that it's like, we're all that. I'm not the only king, you know what I mean? You're the king of the safe room. I might be a king on RoundTable, but it's RoundTable. There is no head of the table. We're at a RoundTable right now. There's no head of the table. We both brought something to the table, and I want to teach people how to do that. I'm like, yo, how could we work together more in unison and cut the violence? How could we promote more positivity in the music? Sometimes you do need a track that's like ludicrous for energy purposes, you know? But then what's the message now? Now that you have everyone's attention, you know? It's like bringing people back to that message and just like pushing unity, like, you know, like R.I.S E, you know what I mean? Like seeing like what they're doing, connecting with the organizations that I've been connecting with, like ACBN and Nobellum, shout out Nobellum, and Melissa, Malcolm, Catherine, and UTSC, shout out Stephanie, Celestine, Angela, Julie, all these people that they're older than me and they pour into me in a way and teach me stuff that I never knew, and I'm like, it's my turn to do that for other people.
Right.
And really uplift the community, right? Because in the Black community, I didn't know about finance until the pandemic when I decided to study finance. Like, you know, I didn't know about dividends. I didn't know about stocks. I didn't know about bonds, mutual funds. I didn't know about so many things because there's not that much education in the Black community, right?
Right.
And all the people that do go to school, the scholars, some about them, like, putting in all that work in silence. They become so introverted, they don't know how to share the knowledge that they were the ones that went to school to get that knowledge to teach everyone.
Right.
It's like I have friends that graduate. I even finished college. I have friends that graduated university, college, and I push them through that. I'm like, yo, I'll do whatever it takes to make sure you graduate. Cause like, yo, you're doing that for the community. Like, people are gonna see you and be like, yo, I can graduate. You know what I mean? And when people ask me like, yo, I want to go to school, I'm like, yo, I have a friend that graduated successfully. I'm gonna introduce you to that person and get everyone in, like, position and stuff like that. And like, do that behind the scenes. Like, I don't have to do that. I don't need the credit personally. The glory has to go to God, right? So I just want to make sure like everybody's good. Like, you know, what did I do while I was here?
I like that. I really love how, again, you tied it all back to wanting to share that information and that knowledge with everyone, especially that sentiment with, you know, if you go to school, you go to university, college, you obtain those skills and you keep that in secrecy. You don't share with people. Like for me, like I took business as my major, and I was able to learn a good amount of things. I didn't learn the more like basic stuff like revenue, expenses, but it was more on the structural form of businesses. So like corporate social responsibility, like understanding how to have ethical procedures when you're approaching certain things. Like those were things that weren't being taught to the community. And when I told people about it, they're like, yo, I never even thought about it like that. Cause like, yeah, I understand the revenue, the expenses, this and that. But like, I didn't understand like in terms of like how does ownership look like, you know, your governance, how does your board look like, the structure and everything like that. So when I tell people about that, it's like it's good information, and information, you take it as you will, and it's transferable. You put it in a way where you structure it how you want it to be. So like I definitely feel that sentiment of just like making sure that if there's information that anyone in the community needs to hear, you share it. Like I don't feel like you should just keep it quiet in the creeps of like somewhere that cannot be found. Like it's important to just disseminate and push that information to community.
Yeah, you have to push that. Like I have a lot of friends I've supported in high school, elementary school, and when they went to school, it's like they forgot about me. Like, you know what I mean? And that's cool. Like, you know, I have people that I support now that once someone left, like, you know, they're not feeling a certain thing, or I'm getting attention on, like, you know, for what I do, because people be like, oh, like, yo, like, Kingsz be doing a lot, like, you be taking from your shine a little bit, but you're more introverted. It's like, I could take some of that shine to help you thrive in secrecy too, like, you know what I mean? And we still pushing the movement. There's times where I might be behind and you're getting the attention. It's like, we're still pushing the movement, and they didn't want that, and that's cool.
Right.
And I have a friend, Dre, he's my manager. He's one of my managers. And that guy, like, he went to school and he switched his program multiple times. And I always encourage him, like, yo, get it, like, you know. And his parents are like, yo, like, they're telling him how he's a waste man. I'm like, nah, you're not a waste man, you're a goat. I'm even paging their dad, like his dad, like his dad's saying the worst stuff to him. I'm like, this is a real guy right here. Like, there's nothing you can convince me to show me that this is not a real person that people need to see. Like, one day he's gonna be successful, and it's because we pushed him and you were the one, you know, dragging him down. But at the end of the day, I still have to support what you're doing for him, but I have to be a different type of support. You know what I mean? And when he finished school, I presented to him Roundtable. I said, I want you to be my manager because of all the support you still give me, even when you were in school and you went to school to do business and you have the background to help push what we do. I have more of the influence and the, like, I'm creative and stuff, but I didn't finish school. But I did go to school and learn certain things, you know what I mean? I still study entrepreneurship, and like, I have friends that show me stuff about Linda and the library and reading books, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to do all that. I'm going to watch podcasts, and he's going to get certain background. And now we're incorporated in a specific way, and we're connected with certain schools, and it's like, he helped push that.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, this is what I wanted for a lot of my friends. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when I was pushing, I was like, yo, I'm pushing because at the end of the day, in the future, we're supposed to support each other. But they didn't want to support me back. Like, you know what I mean? They wanted to keep that knowledge for themselves. And it's like, yo, listen, at the end of the day, one day you're going to realize you obtained all this knowledge and you didn't pass it down to nobody. And it's like, I want to push, like, I want them to remember, like, the reason why we're supposed to be doing this and helping each other and being family is because we have to pass it down to our children. And if you're a doctor, I want you to be my kid's doctor. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
They should be everyone's doctor. If I'm an artist and your kid wants to do some music, you should show them me, and I'm going to help them use that as a way of therapy. You know what I mean? Somebody wants to go to school now, and they're trying to figure out how to connect with Dre and so, and they'll show you certain techniques. Like, you know what I mean? If somebody's not really a scholar, you shouldn't be looking at them like, oh, they're a waste. Nah, they might be an entrepreneur, so they need to connect with me. And I'm going to show them how to be an entrepreneur. There's different ways and different steps in life. I don't get, like, the respect. And it's like, I want to remember, like, re-put the respect on artistry. I re-put the respect on sharing information and being like a family, right? So I feel like it's a lost art these days.
Definitely for sure, man. I want to go on to the next question. So, like, currently, again, you've been working on some new music, and, like, I definitely want to get into that topic. I know you did drop some little snippet tracks and everything like that from before Hood Prophet. There was a couple tracks from there. So I just want to know, like, what led you to creating this idea, especially with the Hood Prophet persona? Because, again, a lot of people may not be so familiar behind that, so maybe you can give them a little bit of a intake on what does that mean to you and what you're trying to get across with that.
So I have two songs on Before a Prophet. I have Day and Night featuring Priority, which we eventually switched to Day and Night Mental Health because the song's about mental health, and Dollar at a Dime. And me and Priority did Day and Night in 2016. Believe it or not, that's the first song me and him ever did.
Wow.
And that song was written in a standpoint of, like, something I'm going through, and I asked him, I want you to do a verse as, like, person in my mind trying to convince me I'm not worthy, I can't. But then I'm also, like, you know, I'm the other voice too, where it's like, God, like, you know, my second verse talk about God has not destined me for wrath. He destined me for a bath in his holiness. Can he fix his holiness in me, free me from sin, receipt I'm within, and sanctify me from all of my iniquity? Like, showing, like, I'm a person, like, that's still growing. Like, I feel like people have this outlook on Christianity where it's like you have to be perfect. It's like nobody's actually perfect. Everybody actually sins. Like, the pastor sins too.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody sins. Everybody's going through their struggles, and it's like, yo, at the end of the day, all that matters is grace and that connection. I'm like, all right, I want to show this is who I'm trying to become, but I want to show life before I become the Hood Prophet. I'm not him yet. I'm not that person. I never succeeded in my first career. I didn't get to a place financially yet where I can give back financially, but I can give back with effort. I can give back with my heart and knowledge and information. But at some point, you have to give back financially. Mm-hmm. You know, like in the church, you talk about paying your tenth and giving back your tithes. It's like, what about giving your tithes back to the streets? Like a place like R.I.S E, like, you know what I mean? Where they've done so much. When I get up, you know what I mean? And they've paid a lot of us to do stuff. You know what I mean? It's like when I get up, it's like I want to be able to, like, give back to some of the artists.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, on Kingsz today, on RoundTable today, like, you know, we're going to connect or I do like shows outside of, like, I don't need to always, I can do my own thing too. And they definitely encourage that. And it's like, yo, I want to be able to give back to artists and put them in a certain situation. So with Dollar now, I'm just talking about, I made a song during the quarantine, so during the pandemic, I was talking about, like, I'm just grinding right now, focusing on paying rent, grinding, trying to save, learning different ways to invest. Also, in the second verse, talking about, like, I'm starting to handle women problems or my life with women a little differently now, where I was more quiet. Now it's like a lot of women, I have a lot of potential, so a lot of women want my interest. Like, you know what I mean? I'm high value, man. It's like, how do I balance all of that and not get myself lost in this world with women and the drugs and stuff like that? And just coming from a family where you have to get it by any means. It's like, but now I'm trying to go connect with schools and work with children. It's like I have to cut out certain ways because if I get caught up in certain stuff, I can't give back. Like, you know what I mean? If I get hit with a record, I can't enter schools. You know, you need a criminal police check to work with kids. You know what I mean? What if I'm a criminal, I can't work with them no more. So it's like just learning, like, how to be a better person, you know? So that's kind of how the before Hood Prophet is. But, you know, I got a Hood Prophet Kingsz coming soon, though.
All right. We're definitely going to keep on the lookout for that because, you know, like I said, you've been doing your thing with the music, and I just want to give you that love and that recognition, bro. Okay, I want to switch things up a bit. You know, I want to get into, like, a little bit of a more intermission, just fun type of vibe. So I got a couple things written down. So the first thing I want to talk about is which classic album is better. So I got a couple of matchups here. And, like, again, this is all your preference. Don't feel like you have to answer based on, like, just, oh, what does majority of people think? Like, this is just
I don't
you.
know. I listen to for me.
Okay, cool. So, and again, like, I'm using the term classic in quotation. So for some people, if you're listening, you don't think it's a classic. Again, that's your thing. That's your take, you know? But here we go. And I tried to, like, give, like, different eras and everything. So give it that variety. Okay, the first matchup. Good Kid, Mad City or Nothing Was the Same.
Oh my gosh. That's how you started. Those came out around the same time. Damn, yo. I still listen to both those albums heavy, bro. Those are, like, probably my two favorite albums. Damn, yo, you really did that to me.
It's a tight matchup, it is.
You really did that to me. When I'm depressed, I'll be listening to that Nothing Was the Same more.
Oh, okay.
Just because, like, nothing was the same. Like, you know, that depression don't feel the same. But if I had to choose, I had to go with Good Kid because Money Trees, Singing About Me, Real, Poetic Justice, like, that's some soul music. Like, that's good for the soul. I want my kids to hear that and be like, yo, this is some, like, the story, like, that he's trying to portray. Like, you know, not saying Drake wasn't portraying no story or nothing. It's just I don't really listen to, like, Hold On, We're Going Home and Worst Behavior. It ain't aged the same way, like, Real or Sing About Me hit. Like, you play that right now, I'm going crazy. Money Trees, like,
Money
when
Trees
I'm going home plays right now, I'm like, you know, if I'm sad, I'm gonna super bump it. Like, you know, Worst Behavior, if I'm, like, trying to prove something, I'll bump it.
Yeah.
But those other tracks, like, I'll play that right now. Like, I can listen to that any day. But there's specific tracks on that was the same that I still bump every day. Like, I listen to Come Through, Connect, Wu-Tang Forever. Like, Wu-Tang Forever is my mood. Like, you know. But Good Kid,
there's a lot. It's a tough matchup.
Hit for hit, I had to go Good Kid. So.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Okay, next one. Get Rich or Die Trying or The Carter 3?
Oh, God. Trying to get me in trouble. Get Rich or Die Trying. That was the album for me. Like, you know, even the Dollar Out of Dime has like a 50 Cent like inspired like instrumental. And even though I didn't want that to be like one of the first tracks that came out with solo, I was like, you know what, 50 Cent was the person that made me realize I want to do this. So
right.
The Carter 3 is crazy though. Like,
there's
like Lil Wayne's different, like, you know, but Get Rich or Die Trying, I know that album front to back in a different way, like, you know. So You trying to get me there, man.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm making you think. I'm making you think. All right. I know I've been doing a lot of like hip hop and rap. I want to switch it up to some R&B a bit. All right. 1 in a Million from Aaliyah, or Crazy Sexy Cool, TLC.
Have to go to Aaliyah. Have to. That was my older brother and me loved Aaliyah. When she died, I remember we heard on the radio, because we still had a radio bumping at them days, you know.
Right.
So Aaliyah died in an airplane. We cried for so long. Like, I actually watched the Aaliyah movie this week. But Left Eye was when she passed away, I was hurt too. I was devastated, like the car accident. TLC, I love TLC though. That was tough. That was tough. But 1 in a Million, like Aaliyah's babe. She's
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Here's another R&B matchup. We got Confessions,
oh my God.
Usher, or Goodies, Sierra.
Nobody could beat Usher, bro. That Confession album. There's no R&B album you could have brought up to be. I know that album front to back. I still listen to that album when me and my Shay do stuff, I play that, can you handle it? Can I go there, baby, with you? I can go there. But Confessions, that guy dropped the album about cheating. That's when I realized I'm I never want to cheat on a girl. Cause this right here, I couldn't imagine how Chili was feeling hearing this. Everybody's bumping this. They were. I was like, I can't. I don't want to make music about my relationship like that. Maybe when we're more established, I can talk about hardships and stuff. But I don't want to when I'm going through something with my girl, or I don't want to put music out to have people know our business like that. Usher did something that was I wouldn't do that, but listen, I bumped that. That's repeat,
Yeah.
I repeat to this day.
Confessions.
Right, it's getting its flowers now. I don't know if you've been seen that challenge on TikTok when he's it's from Superstar, that song. He's
oh yeah.
I was bumping that 2005. And Usher was my brother's favorite artist. So the day before my brother died, he did a performance to Caught Up, and it was shut down.
Wow.
The schools. So it's Usher, my guy.
That's amazing. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so that wraps it up for that section. I want to do another one. It's a trivia. All right. So you have to guess the rapper. I'm gonna be giving some hints, some clues. So I tried to make this as easy as possible. So
sometimes the mind, cause I love beats. If you play any beat, I'll just know. But sometimes the lyrics, I'd be lost.
Okay, all right. Okay, here's the first one. So this rapper has 13 studio albums, 4 collab albums, and 4 #1 Billboard songs.
4 collab albums?
Yeah.
And you said 4 number ones?
Yeah, 4 #1s.
Is it Future?
It's not Future. I'll keep going. Let me give you the next thing. His recent album, and this one might give it away. His recent album dropped in 2017.
2017?
In terms of like a studio album, it's 2017.
4 collab albums. Cause Lil Wayne don't have no collab albums.
Yeah, I will say this: it's someone who's been in the game.
I wanted to say Jay-Z.
It is Jay-Z. Yeah. It is Jay-Z.
I was just trying to think about who else he collabed with. I know he collabed with Ye. He collabed with
There's a couple. There's Ye. I might have to pull it up. I forgot when I wrote these down a couple weeks ago, but it did say
low-key, that was the first person I wanted to say, but I'm nah, Future. Future's one of my favorite.
I can understand from the collabs because he's done a lot. He's done with Uzi, Juice WRLD, Drake.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, 4 collabs? Future collabing with everybody. That's hard.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you got that one. Okay, here's the second one. This is the last one. He was on the XXL freshman list in 2016.
Uzi?
It's not Uzi. Let me keep going.
Savage?
It is 21 Savage. The next one I was going to say, he released 3 collab albums from 2017 to 2022.
Yeah, it has to be Savage. Yeah. I know that freshman guys, Uzi, Savage, Denzel Curry. I'm thinking about that main cipher.
Yeah, there's Yachty, Kodak.
Yachty was on that and Boat. Boat, my fault. And
people also forgot Anderson .Paak was also there, but he was placed with Designer and Lil Dicky.
Yeah. Anderson .Paak, I seen that guy perform live. He opened up for Bryson Tiller. And I went with some girls, and I put the girls on Bryson Tiller, you know, cause like I put people on some serious music. This is before people even taking Bryson Tiller was hard. Like,
it was like before Trap Soul in a way, you know, like
Trap Soul was out, but it never went viral yet.
Right,
like, Dawn
right.
and that stuff didn't go viral, but I knew about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yo, I was telling the girls like, yo, Bryson Tiller is gonna be a guy, like, you know, and I put them on it, and so the girl, like, she's like, she messaged me one day, we're cool. And she's like, yo, Bryson Tiller's coming to da-da-da. I bought us tickets already. I'm like, oh, like, you bought us tickets already? I'm like, yeah, like, you know. I'm like, all right, I'll ET you, like, you know. I'll ET you or whatever. She said, nah, you don't even have to ET me, like, because you put me on them. Like, I just feel like it's an experience for us, like, you know.
Right.
And she showed her friends, like, some other girls. I'm like, all right, okay. So we go over there, and there's so many guys there, too. And they're singing Bryson Tiller with their soul. But Anderson .Paak opened up for him and washed him. Like, that guy played the drums, the guitar. He was dancing.
The man is
talented.
Rapped,
he sang. The crowd control was crazy. I was like, who's this guy? I'm
this man
I
is
heard
nice.
about him. Like, I heard some of his tracks, but I didn't know what he looked like for real.
Yeah,
like from that day, I was like, yo, that guy's gonna be a superstar.
He's got some good discography.
I couldn't even feel Bryson Tiller's performance after that. Like, even though I knew the tracks, I was like,
yeah.
That was the day I called it. I said, yo, I was telling everybody, yo, Anderson .Paak might go up and Bryson Tiller might decrease, and it actually happened.
Nah, like, no, Anderson .Paak is a talented dude. Like, Malibu, Oxnard, is great, Ventura. And, like, when him and Bruno linked in, I try to tell people Anderson .Paak was going to be the glue of that. Bruno's talented, don't get me wrong. But what really made Silk Sonic, it was Anderson .Paak. Like, he is something.
He definitely was, like, the driving force. Because
Right.
Bruno been in the game for so long that, like, artists, like, write songs for him, and he's just a performer now.
Right, exactly.
I'm not saying he doesn't write, like, his own music or nothing like that. But he's one of the best performers of all time, right? So he's in that lane. But Anderson .Paak's more of a creator.
Yeah.
You can, like, you know, so it's like, Anderson .Paak's top 10 right now, performance-wise.
He is for sure.
I'm not going to argue that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I kind of want to get into the closing topic, and it's talking about, you know, uplifting, like, you know, the music scene, especially when it comes to, like, hip-hop and rap. You know, for individuals like yourself, again, when they hear your music, they feel inspired based on the message and the storytelling. And I feel like a lot of times, especially for me, I don't seem to hear as much unless I actually go into a space and I actually take it in, like, full experience, you know? Like, when I go back to my school, it's the same stuff. You're hearing, like, the same type of music there. It's just like, if only people knew, like, the music that, like, you're doing, like Kingsz is doing, like, that's actually, like, motivational, that actually touches their soul. So, like, I want to know, like, do you believe that there's, like, I wouldn't say a stigma, but sort of, like, just, like, this issue where, again, a lot of people, especially maybe black male rappers, are not putting enough effort to really talk about that heavy messaging, like, within your music into their own music?
Yeah, because it's not viewed as cool.
Right.
You're viewed as a waste man. You're viewed as weird. But me, I thrive in that role. I'm like, yo, it doesn't matter what you say. At the end of the day, it's about a message. At the end of the day, it's about music. It's about vibe. It's about, you only live once. Like, I've never seen, the only person in history that we've heard died and came back for real was Jesus. Like, you know, and even then, like, a lot of people don't believe that. I believe that. But, yo, if I could die and come back, I probably wouldn't be as good as a person. You know what I mean? I'd probably be like, yeah, I'm meant to come back, like, you know? So it's like, it is what it is. So it's like, yo, because I only have this one opportunity. And I tell people all the time, like, when my brother passed away, like, that was 2005, June 11th. I never did speak to him ever again. Like, I've never had a conversation with him ever again. Never seen him. And days keep going on. And it's like, I don't have that. But I have memories.
Right.
I have good memories and I have bad memories. There's some stuff that he's written down in books. I've read about him. He's talking about me, about how he's mad at me for something I did to him. And there's times where it's like, he's talking about me. Like, I do love Malik. Like, he's cool. Like, I see potential. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I want in the music. I want in the music where people can hear about some stuff and it's like, yo, sometimes I want to brag. Sometimes I want to talk about some stuff. I want different emotion. I want people to see and be like, yo, this guy, at least he was real. At least he was true to himself. Like, I'm not going to switch up my message, and I'm not the type of person like I'm gonna go rap about like heavy drugs or nothing, because I don't do that. I ain't gonna put down anybody that does that, because they might do that. But I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna have the counter music that's gonna talk about like, what if you tried a different style of drug?
Right.
God could be that.
Mm-hmm.
You could be addicted to some spirituality, and say it in that way where it's like, yo, I get high off the spirit, and people will be like, oh, it's like, what do you mean by that? It's like, yo, that's how that line resonates with that person, because that's how they receive the line.
Right.
Certain people in the church might not receive that. Like, oh, he's talking about us. Nah, it's not for you. That message is not for you. I'm the hood prophet. I have to cater to the hood.
Right.
When I'm speaking my message in a specific way. And I have to say it in a way that they can understand and want to be like, I'm going to give this guy a chance to talk to me still. Or, you know what? Maybe people are not social like that. And they're like, you know, I'm just going to watch. Because some people just want to watch. I've had people come up to me and be like, yo, like, I don't comment, I don't really share your stuff, but I have to tell you, like, I can't let you leave without telling you. I watch all your stuff, and you motivate me every day. And it's like, yo, I've even, like, you know, like, I've been, like, doing other stuff because I had a kid and da-da-da. And, like, I remember you were, like, you messaged me, you congratulated me, you checked on me, like, you know, and all that stuff. And it's like, wow, like, you're supposed to be, like, a celebrity. And you, like, checked on me, like, who am I? And it's like, yo, I'm going to teach my kids about you. I'm going to tell my kids, like, this is someone you should look at and be like, he lives in a way where people can be motivated, you know? And I want people, everybody wants to be motivated. Like, even if people, you know? So it's like, keep that energy. That's what I need.
Yeah, definitely. No, I feel that, especially the part where, you know, you have someone who walks up to you and say like, hey, I watch your stuff, or I listen to your music. And I think for a lot of us, being in that driver's seat, we're so fixated on how are people interacting with me. Just like, yo, are people liking my stuff? Are they actually commenting and going under my post and actually saying something? And if we don't, like, our initial reaction is like, oh man, they don't rock with me. They don't rock with my stuff. But again, a lot of people, and we were talking about before, some people just observe. You and I, when we were like in school, we were observant. Same for people who might just be looking for something to just resonate with them. They may be observant. They may not like something. They may not comment on something. They may not even go to an event. They might just like, you know what? I'm listening and observing. Like, I've had people walk up to me straight up and like, yo, like, I see you doing your podcasting. Like, it's really inspirational. Like, just keep it up. And like, those are the people I never talked to them that much, or B, it's just like, I didn't even think they would like find my page, find the stuff I do. So when they walk up to me and they tell me that like, yo, your stuff is inspirational, like, this is really great, I haven't really seen a podcast do the things that you do, it's like, you have to really look at it. Like, the message you put out, it receives in different ways. Not every time it's like, oh, the same way. It needs to be this type of version of how people receive it. Like, it has to be, initial reaction, or like commenting or liking. Some people receive it a different way. But as long as the message is going out to them and they are receiving it, I feel like that's just something that you want to keep pushing out there. And I love how you have that, you know, just wanting to share the message and keep pushing it out to the community, push it out to the hood and everything like that. Because again, there might be something that might be said in your music or the things that you say that really resonates with them, and it's like, wow, like, that makes you think twice, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and sometimes I do stuff and it triggers people. Like, I have a super hater. Like, you know what I mean? He be hating on me, hating on Priority. He be hating, like, yo, message like a good friend of mine just to hate, and my friend will tell me, and I'm just like, yo. Because, I don't know, he be hating that I'm dancing super crazy. And he be like, yo, you're doing spin moves, you're a waste, man. I'm like, yo, I actually got paid $1,000 to go on stage and spin. Like, I'm a spin. But when it comes to the commenting and stuff like that, like, I don't get paid for you to comment on my stuff. So, I don't really care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. It's free. Like, you know what I mean? So, there's people that comment on your stuff and they don't really watch. They just quick fire emoji, you know?
right.
I love it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they see, like, that's them seeing, like, oh, let me just do this quick for this person, quick. Like, I don't really, like, you know, let me just quick. And they move on with their day. And then there's people that watch and they will comment and they'll write like a lengthy something like, yo, that one part, and you know right there and then this person actually watched the video. I'm like, okay, actually, let me connect with this person a little more. Let me be a little more intentional with this person because they're paying attention. It's like I pay attention to those things, like people that support me and stuff like that. I would call them and be like, oh, I'm hosting a showcase. I want you to perform. Oh my gosh, you want me to perform? It's like, yeah, I want you to perform. It's like, I'm not even like on your level. It's like, it's not about you being on my level. It's the fact that you support me. That I'm ready to support you too. Like, you know what I mean? Because love, real recognize real.
That's what's
like,
up.
You know what I mean? And there's people that don't love me. And I know they're hating on me. And I still reach out to them and help them and stuff. Because, you have to love your enemies too.
Yeah.
You have to, if you only love people that love you, did you share love? You know what I mean? But when you love somebody that hates you, that's real love. Like,
right.
Because, there'll be days where you wake up and you hate your family, you hate your significant other, and it's like unconditionally they're gonna support you and be there for you. And it's like I want to have that same energy for any creative, any person that needs that support. It's like, sometimes I be cheese. Like I'm a human person. I'm like, listen, I don't want to talk to you for a year. I don't want to talk to you for a few months. I haven't talked to people before because I'm like, listen, sometimes you're just tired.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you're like, be the bigger person. Be a Christian. You only live once. All that same stuff I've been talking about, it hits me again. Like my factory default, like my spiritual talks to me, says, like I can hear my spirit telling me like, do the right thing. And I can hear my flesh telling me, bun that guy. Screw that guy. And it's like, nah, I'm gonna block all those voices and just keep pushing.
Right. Yeah, definitely, for sure. Wow. Yeah, that's everything I got here, man. Kingsz, again, man, I appreciate it, man, just coming on the podcast. Episode 100, ladies and gentlemen.
100.
Oh, my gosh. But again, Kingsz, I appreciate you just coming on, taking the time to just share your story, man, share your journey. It's been amazing. So, where can the people find you on social media, bro?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Hood Prophet Kingsz. That's HOODPROPHET, like profit, not like the money. But it's a double entendre though. And then Kingsz, KINGSZ, I'm not the only king, so it really stands for like that plural where I'm talking about all the people. It's like kings, Cause I'm gonna be the hood prophet soon, but Kingsz is like everybody, So.
I love that, man. Again, really appreciate your time. Thank you to everyone listening. Thank you for everyone following the journey of the Safe Room. Again, I started this May 14th. That's coming up pretty soon, all right?
Anniversary.
Very, very soon. I mean, technically, if you go on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, the first episode you'll see is, I think, August 7th, but it's May 14th because I started on YouTube first originally.
Okay,
so that's the actual birthday of everything. But now that it's close to 3 years and like I'm at the point where I'm at, just 100 episodes, over 1,000 plays, newsletter, website, personal theme song for the podcast. Been able to go out there, conduct interviews at events. We were just at R.I.S.E event on Saturday. I got to do some interviews there. Like
clean.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I was excited when I seen you. I was like, "Jeez, this is what we need, yo. This is what we need. I've been waiting to see you outside at these events."
Yeah, man,
busting it up,
for
yo.
sure. But I'm so grateful for this journey. I'm so excited for what happens next. I'm definitely gonna take some time off just to kind of get the pieces back together. Like I said, guys, this has been my first recording like over a month, but it was definitely worth the wait, especially being with Kingsz here.
Kingsz.
So I'm definitely going to take some time to do some little bit of redesigning, but I promise you when we come back, guys, it's going to be monumental. Absolutely monumental. I got some things in the background. I'm not going to say it here. I'm going to keep it quiet until the time is right. So, but again, I do appreciate you, Kingsz, for coming on, man.
Yes, for sure.
Yes, guys, if you want to go check out the podcast, Safe Room on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. You can follow me on Instagram, The Safe Room Official, TheSaferoom Official, TikTok, TSR Podcast, Twitter, The Safe Room Pod. You can follow me on YouTube as well. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be posting clips and everything. What else? Oh, yeah, I mentioned the theme song for the podcast. So anytime you're listening to the episode and you hear the intro track and the outro track, that's actually my personal song. I actually wrote it. I got someone to produce it for me. It's called First Lady. You can go check it out on Apple Music, Spotify, and everything. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think we covered everything. But thank you guys so much. Thank you again to Kingsz. See you guys next time.